ਸੋ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਅਸਲ ਮਕਸਦ 21ਵੀਂ ਸਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ। ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ। ਉਸੇ ਸਬਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਓ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੋਂ। ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Harpreet ji, last episode we discussed that how society have lost the divine message and spiritual enlightened prophets and visionaries.
Ji.
And how we have turned that into organized religion. Today we will discuss how as Sikh society have turned divine wisdom, divine philosophy of Baba Nanak into worthless religious practices, useless religious karmakand, superstitious belief, vaham param. And when we walk through this, Harpreet ji, what were the reasons, what were the factors, what happened, how it happened?
Right.
Only then we can walk through to find the new reality.
Right.
And that's how we will change our ways.
Ji.
And first what are the factors, what are the major reasons for that is I think the most important, Harpreet ji will discuss is the misunderstanding,
Right.
misinterpretation, literal meaning of Gurbani,
Translation.
which has no relevance to our daily life, how to be satyara.
Ji.
We will take one example
Ji.
to
Understand
clarify
this.
what we were saying is, I'll take in one slok of Bhakt Kabir ji, where he says that Kabir, Shakat sang na kijiye, duro jaiye bhag, basan karo parsiye, tau kuch lage daag.
Ji.
So we'll discuss it. What is the revolutionary message here which is relevant to our daily life and guide us to be a good human being, awakened, enlightened individual?
Right.
And what is being preached? So we'll comparison. We will
Right.
see two paths here.
Right.
You know. So here, what is being preached is Sakat, atheist, non-believer, ignorant. Right. Basan is utensil, panda. Karo and the blackened.
Ji.
In Parsiye when we touch it.
Ji.
So how is this is explained for last 250 years? Okay, I'll talk about it. If you are a spiritually awakened Gurmukh,
Ji.
do not be friend with non-believer, atheist,
Ji.
Sakat, faithless person. Stay away from him or her.
Ji.
No relationship, no touch, parshama bhi uda nahi lena. If you do so, he or she will influence you to be like him or her, us varga sakat ban jayega.
Ji.
We will see how damaging this message, which we've been preaching for 250 years,
Right.
is.
Whereas the gurus went to all these kind of people to transform them.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, how damaging is this message especially for our youth?
Youth.
Is this message is saying it is okay to discriminate. Manukh de naal vitkara karna is okay.
Ji.
And it is okay to hate others, manukh naal nafrat, and judge others to be lower. As we see the Amritdhari look at the clean shaven.
Right.
And we know that. And I remember a story when I was in India one time, and one Amritdhari said he doesn't go to a grocery store owned by a clean shaven, even though he's a Sikh, because I won't buy from that. And so when that message, Harpreet ji, goes out in the Gurdwara, and then our youth ask our question.
Ji.
And logically,
Oh, yeah.
They ask questions. Does this Gurbani teach discrimination? Does Gurbani teach to judge others to be inferior?
Ji.
Put down others as bad people? They simply, what happens when they get this message, I mean the normal people, when they get this message in 21st century, what will they do? They just simply walk away. Youth especially, they walk away. And how can we blame them? If this is the message we are going
Right.
to convey to them,
Ji.
how can we blame them? How can we expect them to love Gurbani?
Right.
The truth is, now let's talk about the truth. What is the message? How the revolutionary this message was.
Ji.
This is message, what we just discussed, is fundamentally against the spiritual philosophy of Baba Nanak.
Ji.
Guru Pacha teaches us manda kis nu akhiye jagte sabin koi na hai.
Right.
Guru Pacha Gurbani teaches us to love all.
Hate none.
What if my son or daughter says, I don't believe in religion or something, should that be hated or kicked out? It's illogical, it's completely illogical, makes no sense. What is the real message? Gurbani, Harpreet, we have talked about in many episodes before, is the metaphors, is the parables, and it's been used extensively, used phrases.
Ji.
Now, Kabir ji is not talking about person here, Sakat. Kabir ji is talking about, here means vices,
Right.
evil thoughts, bad habits. ਔਗੁਣਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਬੀਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ?
ਜੀ।
And ਸਾਨੂੰ we get answers from the Gurbani. When you Harpreet ji, you use your brain, you do research,
Right.
you find the answer from Gurbani.
Ji.
You know, don't literal, but you find the answer. So
Right.
here's there's a line we read in Rahras every day, Mahalla Panjma, Guru Arjan Pasha. Guru Pasha ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਕਤ ਨਿੰਦਕ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਖਿਨ ਮੇ ਬਿਤਾਰੇ। So Guru is not talking about that
thief
faithless or,
Right.
or backbiter or the bad person
It's the thought.
destroyed in no time.
Right.
Now, Guru says, Sakat, you says, Guru Sahib is saying in here, your evil thoughts,
Right.
your bad habits, your thoughts full of vices and ego is destroyed and transformed through divine wisdom.
Right.
You become a satyara, a good human being. In here. So Sakat here means you're talking about evils. You're talking about bad thoughts. Kaam, krodh, lomo, hankar di gal
Those
karte
vices,
hain.
yeah.
Now, what is Kabir ji saying here? Kabir ji saying, Sakat sang na kijiye. Kabir ji said, do not let evil thoughts, avgun, vices, bad habits become part of your life.
Right.
And your actions, part of your actions. Do not let avgun define you.
Right.
That's what Kabir ji is saying. Duron jaiye paak. Guru says, be careful, be awakened, you know, stay away. Vasan karo parsiye, if you are not careful, you are not alert, ਤਾਉ ਕੁਛ ਲਾਗੇ ਦੇ ਭੈੜੇ ਸੰਸਕਾਰ ਤੇਰੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਨੂੰ ਨਰਕ ਬਣਾ ਦੇਣਗੇ। So here's the message in summary we could talk about is on contemplating, meditating on divine wisdom. Guru Pacha saying internalizing godly virtues to transform your consciousness. Do not let vices, evil thought become part of your life,
Ji.
and you become spiritually awakened, and by there you become Gurmukh, Stiara, and enjoy peace and happiness.
Right.
And this was the message
Message.
of this slok,
Right.
that amen, you know, internalize godly virtues and by become Satyara, and that's how you enjoy peace and happiness,
Right.
which is logical relevance. Harpreet, as I think, what if this message was conveyed for the last 250 years?
Well, of course, there would have
Outcome
been.
will be
Oh, yeah. Absolutely
completely
different. Yeah.
So, Harpreet, last year, I must admit here that last I took a year off
Right.
from coming to
The show,
here,
yeah.
the show, because what I saw is 99% what is preached, taught is literal, is based on not based on reason, logic, relevance, and scientific. Hardly 1%.
Right.
It's the truth. It's the hard fact.
Absolutely.
Hardly 1%, which is completely
Conveyed.
You know, convey the message
Right.
and guide us how to be a
Ji.
good human being. And I'll give you my personal hadbeeti di gal
Ji.
karde hain. And last year, my mother-in-law passed away, and her anniversary was in January.
Right.
My relatives are all saying, "Paat nahi rakhana, ਉਹਦੀ anniversary nahi manani,
Yeah. Barsi nahi manani.
barsi nahi manani." And I said, "Give me one logic.
Right.
You're doing this for her?" it's meaningless. Doesn't matter for her.
Right.
It's not going to help her in
That's
any
right.
way whatsoever. What is the logic? What's the reason? What's the purpose of this?
Right.
And if the purpose is to get together, discuss Gurbani,
Yeah, then it is good.
then it is good.
But just for the sake of
Just
coming
sake
and
of doing, oh, ਦਾਦੇ ਪੜਦਾਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਲੋਕ
Right.
ਕਰਦੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ. But even I find very surprising that educated people,
Also
still
talk the
those
same thing.
thoughts are
Absolutely.
so stuck
Very true.
in their mind.
Well, that is what is unfortunate. These have been ingrained in our minds,
Ingrained
and
so
again, the same thing what you talked in the previous episode, that sacredness comes forward,
Yeah.
which we think that by not doing this, something will be wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas the gurus just, it was opposed. They opposed all the kind of thinking,
Absolutely.
but we just
Rejected
followed.
all that.
Absolutely. We'll go for a short break, come back, and we'll continue with the discussion as to how, in this century, we should understand the basic meaning of religion so that we can bring about the desired change, what we want in our lives. ਸੋ ਜੋ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹੀ ਸੋਚ ਬੈਠੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲੋਕ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਰੰਪਰਾ ਬਣੀ ਪਈ ਹੈ। ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਅਕਾਲ ਚਲਾਣਾ ਕਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਹੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਥਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ। ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਬੱਧੀ ਉਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੌਜੀਕਲੀ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਅਕਾਲ ਚਲਾਣਾ ਕਰ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਹਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਕਿ ਹੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਥਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ, ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਥਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੀ? ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੋਚਣ ਵਿਚਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਜਬੂਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆ ਸਕੀਏ। ਇसी विषय ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ।
ਮਹਿੰਦਰਾ ਜੂਲਰਸ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਝੁਮਕਾ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਗਨ, ਕੜਾ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਕਲੈਸ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੀਕੀ ਨਾਲ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ ਲਈ, ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਲਈ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ।
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਗਾਹਕ ਮਹਿੰਦਰਾ ਜੁਐਲਰਸ ਦੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਭਰ ਲਈ।
ਤੇ ਆ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ
ਮਹਿੰਦਰਾ ਜੂਲਰਸ, a passion for excellence.
The true purpose of religion in the 21st century, ਇसी ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲਈਏ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਸੋਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਸਹੀ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ, ਸਹੀ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਸਕੀਏ। ਜੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ।
Habib, we are discussing that how we are stuck in the old sacred belief systems and religious practices, and how can we bring about change in Sikh psyche,
Right.
Sikh soch de vich. Then I realized that there is no other way, and it might take many years, many years to do that. But the only way, maybe Harpreet, you can comment on this, I believe that the only way is education, and more education.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you that education has to be there, and that has to be done by ourselves, not depending upon others, and especially the preachers, because this has become a big business. Not only we know in the gurdwaras, but other places also we find the same thing, that they are using these things to kind of create not awareness in us, but kind of create fear in us that if you do not do this, you will have to suffer. And man only does things just for pleasure or for on the basis of greed. So that kind of fear which is existing, we are not being able to overcome that. And I hope that with people like you who are doing individually research, they're coming forward and then they are trying to spread this message. Especially our youngsters understand this and they don't get enticed by the old thinking, and they create awareness for themselves.
Yeah, as now we discussed that the major factor so far we discussed is the misunderstanding, misinterpretation, little meaning,
Right.
which has little or no relevance to our daily life. We go to Gurdwara blank and we come back empty, blank. Now the other factor, as we're discussing, I want to talk about, we all know is the series of Akhand Path. I think it's the key religious practices. We spend so much time on this, so much money on this, and we will find out whether it is relevant and it's logical, is it practical.
Right.
And Harpreet, we see that there's a 21, 51, 101 Akhand Paths, and thousands every week and millions dollars we spend on that.
जी
Now, if we look at, observe, who's listening? Almost nobody.
no one
You wouldn't
Hardly
see one
anyone.
or two
Yeah.
people. And particularly family members, you never see them really sit down and listen that. Gurdwara earn few $1,000s and they are happy. Harpiji, Gurbani, I must mention here, is all about transformation of our consciousness.
जी
Changing our behavior, changing our thoughts. Kadiye surt matman buddha di gal karde, become spiritually awakened and live in peace and happiness, khushiyan khediyan da jeevan
Right.
satyara ban ke batauna. This is the purpose of Gurbani in our. Is there nothing, if nothing this happened, there's no changing in behavior, Sotmatman Buddha di koi gal hi nahi hoi, nothing of this happened. Every shabd Guru Pasha says, Rahao. And Guru Pasha saying, every shabd,
जी
stop, pause,
reflect.
think, vichar,
Right.
reflect it. What the Guru just said that.
Right.
And we want non-stop. We don't want to listen to the Guru, what the Guru said. I must say here, Habijit, there was no Akhand Path in Guru period. No Akhand Path ever happened
Right.
in the Guru period. Did they not know that we should, recite the Gurbani this way? No,
Right.
there was none. Because it's not based on logic, reason, and relevance. Doing this, why not family? For example, here, why not 3 days, family, sit down. If you're doing the Akhand Path, 3 days, spend hours reading Gurbani, understanding Gurbani,
Right.
or maybe take a one shabd and read every day,
Right.
and that will bring about change. Guru Pasha says, Sunaya manya man kita pao. Even if you take one shabd a day,
Right.
read that, understand that, that'll bring about change, happiness, peace, khushiyan khera in
Right.
our life.
Right.
But doing Akhand Path, Sukhmani Sahib, I think, I dare to say, this practice has not helped us to become satyara
Right.
whatsoever. It's not logical, it's not reasonable. When nobody is listening, how would your psyche, your behavior, your
changed.
habits will change?
Right.
Sanskar will change. So I think this practice, especially for young generation, should be stopped.
And instead, the millions of dollars which are spent on these can be utilized for some good purposes,
Good
for giving
purpose.
education to those poor children who are not getting the education.
Do wonders with
Absolutely.
those millions, and
Yeah.
thousands of Akhand Paths are
Oh,
being
yes.
done every day in the Sikh,
All over the world, yeah.
Sikh, which is completely, I would say, worthless, waste money and time, and it is it's a ritual.
If no one is listening, yeah.
So no one is. It's the same way, and other which Sikhs do very extensively and believe that they have done their religious duty is a Tirth Ishnan, Tirth Yatra.
Ji.
And these things have, in fact, derailed us from becoming satyara. I read somewhere, Harpiji, we are discussing these so that we can realize how we got where we got.
Right.
And walk through that and maybe find
reasons
out the
for that,
truth.
yeah.
And I read 1.4 million visit Hemkund every year and spend and donate hundreds of millions. So many people donate. And millions do Tirth Ishnan in Harmandir Sahib, Hajur Sahib, and other places. And objective, that it'll wash away your sins and you become a good Sikh, and your pollution of mind will be clarified and cleaned, avgun dhote jange, and all that purpose which has no meaning. And then they keep singing Ramdas Rognate Savutre Pap Panate.
Right. And again, another thing is, Kandola Sahib, that I'm quite surprised that, how that clever thinking tank has brought that into our minds. For Hazur Sahib, it is said that the Guru is waiting for you for a particular period.
Yeah.
You should visit that. And so this kind of thinking, which has nothing to do with Gurbani, has been propagated, and we are accepting
Nothing to do with how to become satyara.
Right.
As Guru Nanak Pasha said that Guru says dive in divine wisdom, spiritual knowledge, we dive in water instead. No wonder there's no change. Guru loudly said, "Tan tote mana acha na hoye." This is worthless, useless, meaningless practice. Guru says it's a waste of time and money. And also we read every day in Japji Sahib, "Par ye mat papan ke sango topa
नावे के रंग
naave ke rang." Not by washing your body in Srovar or
Right.
dipping. Pollution of mind will never change. And can only be transferred through Guru Di Mat, divine wisdom, living in the present. Tirth Snan Yatra has no behavior change happen, habit and action, as I said.
Right.
It never happened. And that is why ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ stress, depression, worries, anxiety, ਲੜਾਈ ਝਗੜੇ, calculation ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ,
They're
they're
increasing.
the same. You know, because there's no change in behavior.
Right.
There's no change in
the
sanskar.
thought process is still the same
Yeah, the daily life is the same. There's no change. Never enjoy peace and happiness. ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਖੇੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ. But one thing definitely happened when they go to yatra or ਤੀਰਥ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ.
ਜੀ.
ਇੱਕ ਪਾਉ ਲੱਥੀ ਲਾਤੇ हैं, दूई पाव चलिए for. And our ego gets bigger.
Right.
And that's all the result is. That's all we achieve.
Yeah.
Become a bigger ego, become
Right.
more ignorant, empty, and we go empty, and we spend thousands on these kind of things, which can spend, happily we can spend hours in discussing all these practices, used as religious practices, rituals, karmakand, superstitious belief, vaham parma. There are things Guru Nanak completely rejected.
ignore that right
Yeah, the Guru says it's a meaningless, purposeless, and waste of money, Yarchan.
Right.
We are living in the 21st century. Think the question. You know, we should always think when we go to Gurdwara, what is the purpose of doing this?
Right.
What is the logic of doing what we do? What is the benefit of doing it? What is the relevance in our daily life?
Right.
How does this guide me to become a good human? How does guide me to become Satyara?
Right.
How does this help me to live in a meaningful, peaceful, happy, stress-free life?
Absolutely, and this should be the purpose when we visit a
should be the
Gurdwara,
complete-
and
be
we
the
should try
purpose.
to get out this thinking from our minds that we are here for a purpose, not just for the sake of visiting the temple. We are here to gain something from Gurbani, and if that becomes, definitely our lives will be transformed. We'll continue with the discussion, Dr. Sahib, in our next program with the other issues and how we have to transform ourselves. Thank you very much for your time. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੋ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹੱਤਵਪੂਰਨ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਵੇਕਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਪੀਰ ਪੈਗੰਬਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ? ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਮੱਥੇ ਟੇਕਣ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਸੀਮਤ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਉਸ ਡਿਵਾਈਨ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਸੋਚ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਦੀ ਮੈਨੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਕਮੇਟੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਲਿਆਉਣ। ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ, ਕੁਝ ਚੇਂਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏਗਾ। ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਿੰਤਤ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬੈਠਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਚੇਂਜ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਗਿਰਾਵਟਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਧਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆਂਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਲਈ ਆਪ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਹਾਂ। ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਲਿਆਈਏ, ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਣਾ 604 603 75 55 ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਈਮੇਲ ਜ਼ਰੀਏ ਵੀ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ letstalkjoytv@gmail.com। ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਓ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਗੁੱਡ ਬਾਏ।